How's it going, guys? I hope you are doing well today. This video is going to be a little, probably going to spark some controversy, but this is just my opinion. These are just 3 units. 3 units that I would rate a D rating. If I were to do a rating scale of all the units, these 3 would be in the D category. Or maybe lower, I don't know. Definitely way below average. Definitely not a C. Definitely a D. Possibly an F. We'll have to see. But these are the 3 classes that I, personally, my opinion, and if you disagree, that is okay. That is okay. If you love them, I'm glad you love them, but I don't. So let's go. Let's go. We gotta make this quick. We're gonna start with the Warrior. One of the classes I think is like a D tier class. Pretty not useful, especially the further, in my opinion, the further you get in the game with the Warrior, the less useful they are. Now, I've already talked about the Warrior a little bit. You know, I kind of did a little mini quick look at the Warrior. I do plan, like I said, to do more full reviews. I plan on doing a review of every class, like a in-depth one that's like a 20-minute video, 15-minute video. So I plan on covering that eventually, you know, sooner than later probably. But just to get out of the way, I just don't find the Warrior all that good. Now, the coolest thing you can do with the Warrior, in my opinion, is you can actually use double impact with... You can use double impact with mighty impact, and you can get a pretty cool combo, but it costs a lot of MP to get it out. But the fact that you could use double impact and then mighty impact twice on the double impact it's a pretty cool combo, but does require a significant amount of MP, and you're not always going to have that option. So, in vigorous attack, it is useful, especially if you're trying to proc like debuffs, conditions on the enemy. So that's really nice. That's really good. I'm a fan of that, you know. And like I said, I don't want anybody to think these classes are useless that I'm putting down here. I just find them, in my opinion, to just be very basic, run-of-the-mill, average, below average, D rating, you know, just not as good as others, you know. I mean, if you're running a Warrior in endgame, I mean, kudos to you, you know, but they don't really do anything special, you know. They got, like I said, their skill choices and palette are pretty basic. I mean, sure, you can use any weapon class, you know, so you can specialize finishers, but I mean, all they get is like, what, 4, 5, 3 unique little skills that are exclusive to them, and a couple more generic skills. You know, I don't know. Just not feeling the Warrior. So I would put the Warrior in a D tier. It's great early on. I mean, when you don't have any choices. I mean, he can be kind of tanky. He can hit hard. But, you know, maybe if you make him a Hawkman, or, like, give him some extra mobility, you know, then he's a little bit better, because mobility is an issue for him as well. But, yeah, not feeling it. Not feeling it. So now that we got the obvious one out of the way, now we're going to go to the other obvious one, which this guy, if there was an F tier, I would put the Octopus in it. I'm sorry all you Octopus lovers out there, but, you know, I feel like he was better in the PSP version. He had a little more, just more options. I don't know. The very few maps are water. We all know this. If you're doing Palace of the Dead, you're doing the shrines, you know, you're doing any kind of in-game content, there's not too much water options. There's a couple here and there, so I'm not going to say no, but, you know, he's really only useful if there's water. And if there is water, I would move him up significantly. I would put him up to probably, like, if I were to rate him like a B, you know, I would move him up. But the fact that he needs water and Aqua Veil, you know, you can't guarantee it. If this was, like, always on, you know, every unit is treated though it's in water, then we'd be fine. We'd be fine if this was like a permanent ability or something. But the fact you're relying on a proc, a random chance, a roll of the dice, what say you? I can't get behind it. And I swear, people want to die on this hill of Poison Rain. People are obsessed with Poison Rain. I mean, it's great. You know, it's a great poison AoE. But man, people are like, man, you underestimate Poison Rain. It is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, how dare you? And it's like, yeah, Poison Rain's great. Like, a poison AoE is wonderful. But if you're literally only bringing a unit to do poison damage, I don't know. I mean, I think you have other ways. I think you can use a water orb. You got tons of other units that can, you know, you got poison weapons. You got You got a lot of other ways to poison than bringing an octopus for an AoE. Heck, even the basic poison skill, the spell, it's a little plus shape, so you can still hit 4 units if they were lined up perfectly, you know? I mean, I know this is a lot bigger, but... And I know poison is very strong. Poison is probably what top strongest condition in the game. Top 3, easy. So, but yeah, I don't see nothing, man. I mean, the skills are cool. Like, you know, we got black mucus and, you know, dash, which is nice for movement. It's sad because you kind of have a nice kit, but the fact that you need water, too bad we can't generate water. Like, why can't the octopus, like, if they sit in one spot for a turn, a little pool of water comes out of their butt or something? I mean, this is a fantasy game, so we're not talking about realism, you know what I mean? Like, everybody that's gonna go, well, octopus have to be in water, duh. Dude, this game is farther from realistic than Call of Duty ever will be, you know? So, like, we don't play by the rules of nature here, you know? But yeah, Octopus, I already made a video on him. He's definitely probably the worst unit in the game. He's got to be an F tier for me. And finally, my third unit that I dislike, or I find pretty useless, it's going to be the Knight. It's going to be the Knight. I know a lot of you thought it was going to be Cleric. A lot of you were like, that guy better not throw Cleric in there. And I didn't. I did not throw Cleric at the bottom of my list of units that I dislike the most in the game or find the most useless. Now, I don't want, and like I said, I don't want anybody to think these units are like never playable, totally garbage, because that's the nice thing about this game. Every unit has a role. You could play a Knight, and you could play a Soldier, and you could play an Octopus. They're probably more map dependent, more, party dependent. And you might be kind of like making yourself weaker because there are better options. Like, I can almost guarantee you there's better units to put in place of any of these. So if you run these in your team, you either need to have other units that outweigh the weakness they bring, or you're playing on hard mode, you know what I mean? Like, you're making the battle harder by playing with these units. Now, Knight was great early on. I loved the Knight, and, you know, he's got his unique skill, Phalanx. If there was ever a tanky unit, it is the Knight. The Knight is the tankiest unit probably in the game, and it's all because of this skill. Now, the problem I have with the Knight is when this skill activates, the way the AI is programmed, the AI will attack whatever target it can deal the most damage to. So if there's a mage, they're likely not going to attack you. If there's a melee unit, and the Knight's the only melee unit in range, he might get attacked, especially if you have Rampart Aura to lock them down so they can't really move. But you really need to find a way to force enemy to attack you, because once Phalanx procs, in all of my experiences, he becomes the least priority target. What good is a tank that can't hold aggro? I ask you that. You can have the most hit points, the most defense, armor, whatever, but if nothing hits you, what good are you? You know, and that's how I feel about the Knight. That is the biggest drawback. Like, I thought the greatest strength was this skill. I was like, dude, this skill is amazing. And I was like, bro, Knight for life. And then I realized how, in order to get anything to hit the Knight, you really got to prepare for it. You really got to set up for it. And you shouldn't have to do that. Like, you shouldn't have to. And I'm not blaming the way the AI is coded. The AI makes sense. Like, if I was another I attack the squishy stuff too. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes sense to attack what you're going to deal the most damage to, so you're the most effective. So the fact that the AI uses that algorithm or that process to determine its actions and its moves makes sense. But the Knight, like I said, he's great all the way through to a certain point, and then you just realize that, you know, a lot of beasts like the Griffin, the Dragon, Cockatrice, other beasties can tank just as good, if not better, and I really prefer like a Terror Knight tanking. Or, you know, I know a lot of people don't use the White Knights as tanks, and they're not as tanky, but my White Knights can take a hit, you know, so I don't know. I mean, he can heal, you know, we got, you know, and obviously these aren't ideal healing. Like I said, I haven't used the Knight in a long time, so he's not really up to snuff with the rest of the party as far as kits go. His gear might even be kind of out of date, but that's it. Those are 3 units, and I would throw the Knight in the D tier if I had to. So we got 2 D tiers and an F tier. Warrior D, Knight D, Octopus F. If I had all the units in the game, I would make like a tier list or something, but I don't have all the units. I have been slacking off. The holidays have thrown me off. All these other games being out have thrown me off. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to Tactics Ogre that I want. I wish I did. But don't worry, we'll get there. You know, I plan to keep making videos, keep going with the game, because I love the game. I think it's one of the greatest games I've played in a long time. Makes me remember what it was like when I was a child, and gaming was like good, and developers had passion, and they cared, and they made good games. They made games that were engaging and challenging. So many games anymore. Quick ramble. You don't even like lose. You don't even like die in the game. You play the game, start to finish. Nothing's hard. You beat it. All right, that was a good story. You move on to the next, you know. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, I'm not going to ramble. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. What units do you dislike the most? What units do you find the most useless? If you had to rate units at the bottom of a tier list, what ones would you pick? These are the 3 I would pick towards the bottom of the tier list. And these are the units that I find to be the most, I guess, useless, if you want to say that, but nothing is, like I said, you could make these useful, and I'm not saying if you love the Knight and the Soldier and the Octopus and you run them all the time and they're awesome, hey, more power to you. If you make these guys work and you make them into powerhouses, you know, I've had people tell me they pick up, like, stat cards and, you know, they're putting it all into agility and avoidance on the Knight, and, you know, they're really putting effort into making them good. Well, then they're going to be good. But, like, at a generic level, the average person that's running a Knight that doesn't put a lot of tender love, care into the Knight probably ain't going to see the same results you are, you know, so. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know down below what you guys think. What, like I said, what classes do you dislike the most? Until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Until then, later, guys. Peace.